last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant.
It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We need to throw good. Do you?
Hey yo, what's going on? We want to tap in with y'all Not Guilty Boys. We've been on vacation, as you can see. I'm at the pool right now with my feet kicked up, family vacation, and Drew is out enjoying his second year anniversary with his lovely wife, Jocelyn. First, I want to say congratulations and happy anniversary to my boy YD and his lovely wife. But we want to tap in and talk to y'all real quick about the Karmelo Anthony appeal, the motion for new trial and the motion to recuse the judge that was filed by the appeals team this week. And we wanted to touch on some of the key points of this appeal and where it's at right now. One of the most important things, just jumping right into the appeal, is that they asked for Judge Roach to recuse himself, and he has since denied recusing himself. So now Judge Roach has sent this to an independent judge for the independent judge to decide whether or not he should be recused. I find that quite interesting that he didn't recuse himself, given the statements that he made to the media right after the trial that he thought, all his rulings were correct and he thought Karmelo Anthony was guilty and the jury got it right. Well, Judge Roach, you do understand that he gave that interview maybe 2 days after trial, but Judge Roach, you do understand, based on the Code of Criminal Procedure, Karmelo Anthony has 75 days to ask for a motion for new trial. And that motion for new trial will go before you. So why would you be making statements into the media about your personal opinion on this trial when there's still work to be done on this case? What you think about that, YD?
I think that his statements to the media after is indicative of a lot of things. I think that it's indicative. Oh, there you are. I think it's indicative of the fact that, he think this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you get on her and say something? Why would you get on her and choose a side when you could possibly have a motion for new trial before you, and that requires you to be impartial. So here you
Right.
are after the trial. I'm talking about right after the trial. Almost like, you was jumping to get this done, You write thank you letters and all kind of shit, man. That shit is just, it's off-putting, man. If I could just find an adjective to use, it is off-putting. What the fuck you think you gonna do when this motion for new trial comes before you and you done already said on national news that you believe everything you did was right? When the motion for new trial is pretty much saying that you was wrong. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You're not going to
Right.
admit to that. The same way I told you people that he wasn't going to voluntarily recuse himself. You're
Right.
not going to do that. A person that doesn't take any responsibility or accountability is not going to remove himself from that situation. That situation where he gets to use his power. You see what I'm saying? To get a result that he deems proper. He said he thought he was guilty. I ain't never heard a judge say that shit before. I done heard a
Never.
judge say, I really ain't like that testimony too much. I've heard a judge say, I really liked her. I've heard that, but I haven't heard a judge just right after a trial come out and say, I was right about everything I did. I mean, really think about it. Like, let's take this
Think
shit away
about
from the court. Let's take this shit away from the courthouse. Let's just go in the world. You know what I'm saying? In the world, you are required to, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. You see what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, you take accountability. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that gets up and says, I think everything I did was right, when you ain't, so you think not letting no media in was right? You think, not finding a way to honor that agreement that was made between the state and the defense on the record was right? Like, come on, man. It's a lot of shit, man, that's kind of, it seemed like a lot of steps were taken. Just like the file's still under seal. Why is it still under seal?
Right.
It's just so many
Right.
steps taken to keep the public from knowing what's really going on. You see what I'm
And
saying?
And you know what, YD? You know, checks and balances is a part of our systems, right? It's a part of our judicial
Government,
system.
highest level of government.
It's a part of our judicial system. The trial court is always checked by the appellate court. So it's not even your decision. It's not it's not your
It's out of
opinion,
your hands. It's out of your
Judge
hands now.
Roach, whether or not you made the right rulings or not. I mean,
Right. It
it's
ain't up
almost
to
like
you if you made the right rulings or not.
it's not up to him. It's up to the appellate courts. You know, it's almost like he was hedging his bet. But you know, this whole
For
time,
sure.
public, to our people that follow us and been following us throughout this trial, this whole time, we originally thought that Mike Howard was the one dropping the ball here. Now, and I agree, Mike Howard did drop the ball to some extent. But after reading Mike Howard's affidavit in that motion for new trial, now I know that the judge was thwarting everything that the defense tried to do. So it's not like Mike Howard didn't try. Mike Howard tried, and I ain't making no excuse for Mike Howard. I still think he fucked up in the case, and I'm gonna get to that. But what it sounds like Mike Howard is saying is that, hey, I had the epilepsy thing ready to go. I had the psychiatrist ready to go. I had the witnesses about the cheerleaders ready to go. And the judge didn't let nothing in. He's just like he shot everything down. But you know what? The biggest mistake I think Mike Howard made in his affidavit that he wrote, we don't never agree to anything with the state. Why would you stipulate to the state? See, that's that, that's that buddy shit that Mike Howard wrote about in his emails. That's that shit coming back to bite you and your client in your ass. You thought these was your friends. Look, Bill Worse tricked you, Mike Howard. He duped you and tricked you. Why would you agree not to go into the character of the victims when you need that to play up why they was the aggressors and why Karmelo needed to defend himself that day? This is why me and Drew don't agree to anything when we go to trial. And that's why we're successful when they call us not guilty boys. Why would we agree to that? Just why? Just think about it. I'm trying to prove you the aggressor, but I'm not going to go into anything about you being a bully. Hell no. And then on top of that, it sounds like Bill Worse not only tricked Mike Howard, but he punked him too. Because why is he standing over your shoulder, Mike Howard, going question by question, and each question you intend
Man,
to ask
fuck
Karmelo
that,
Anthony?
bro.
Look, I would
Fuck
have
all
threw a
that, bro.
strong elbow, and that bailiff probably would have been coming. Look, Bill, back up, bro. What you doing, bro?
Fam,
It's
we
not
don't
my
even.
duty to give you my questions.
Yes. My bad, bro. Go
That,
ahead.
that's like he asked the defense, let me see your playbook before the game started. And Mike Howard showed his playbook. And it allowed him to make all the objections. He went, Bill Worth tried to pinpoint. You can ask this question. Now you can't ask that question. Open the door. This is why you gotta try cases zealously and aggressively. I'm finna pass it to you. Because we're not worried about opening no damn door. The facts that happened under the tent is what happened under the tent. Anything that happened prior or after, that's collateral. But we're not worried about that and what happened under the tent. Because we know we was defend ourselves. So we're not worried about opening the door to anything. We gonna open the door to the Metcalfs as well. And so it's gonna be two doors open. And we going through both of them. Head up. What you think, Wadi?
Furious about that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's 30 prongs, and I made it to like number 17, bro, and I chilled. I'll probably read the rest when I'm on the plane, fam. But number one, let me piggyback off something you said. First and foremost, bro. First and foremost, God is my witness. Strike me down if I'm lying, bro. I don't even give a prosecutor the job that can come over there looking at my shit, bro. What is it?
Come on, bro.
What is that, bro? Like a prosecutor not even finna approach me on that because they know, man. I'm gonna look at them like they got some shit on their face. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, okay, let's break this shit all the way down. This shit got layers to it, right? Okay, first and foremost, why the fuck would you make an agreement with a prosecutor in the first place? That's first of all. Now, under one of my posts, and then you call it a gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement is for honorable people. That's what I make a gentleman's agreement with Mike. I make a gentleman's agreement with my daddy. I make a gentleman's agreement, I don't know, somebody trustworthy, bro. Somebody on my side. The DA and the state not on the same side. That's number one. Number two, Well, let me tell you what making an agreement, period, is indicative of to me, though. Before I go into the layers, making an agreement is indicative of the fact that you are so fucking scared of the facts of this case, or you are so scared of whatever aggravating evidence they got on your client that you was willing to risk him getting 35. You was willing to risk. Let me tell you something. You face shit and you overcome shit. And
Right.
I don't believe that there was anything valuable to the state or that effective on the defense to where he had
Right.
to just agree not to bring nothing in. That is some, man, look, that's some pussy shit, bro. I just gotta call a spade, bro, because I'm mad about it, bro. I'm mad about it. See, you really sold that man up the road. So
Come
you
on
wouldn't have to face no bad evidence in that courtroom. Bruh, you face that shit, you overcome that shit, you let your client explain that shit. I don't care what was in that cell phone. Unless it was him saying, whenever the Metcalf boys walk up to me tomorrow, I'm gonna stab one of them in the chest.
Come on
If
now.
it wa-
Premeditation. It wasn't no premeditation.
if it wasn't that, if it wasn't a clear showing of premeditation, bro, bring them out, nigga. Call T.I. and Jay-Z. Bring them out, nigga. Bring all the evidence out. You lay your shit on the table, and I'm going to have my client explain it, and then I'm going to put my shit on the table, and let's see if the Metcalf boy can explain it. Let's see. You see what I'm saying?
And here's another. Go ahead, my bad, buddy.
But hold on, one more thing, Mike. Tell me if you agree. It's one thing. Okay, so the affidavit said that not only did Mike Howard agree not to go into any character evidence, but he agreed not to bring any testimony about the epilepsy, and he agreed not to call that expert on fight or flight. Now, here's my point. It's one thing for us to trade apples for apples or oranges for oranges, okay? But evidence of him having epilepsy is not fucking character evidence, bro. It shouldn't even been in a conversation. Evidence of fight or flight, you could argue that to be character evidence, but the epileptic shit is not character evidence. And I think the affidavit said that the judge even agreed with that the epileptic shit wasn't character evidence. So why you ain't get into it? He dropped the ball, bro. He dropped the ball. And what's the most heartbreaking shit for me is I hope this shit appealable on the argument, on the fact that he relied on that shit. Because it's kind of a subjective argument. You know what I'm saying?
Let me take my glasses off for this one. Because I need the people to see me and feel me on this one. I take my glasses off.
Bro, they picked that nigga, they picked Mike Howard up by his ankles and shook his lunch change out. That's what they did to that nigga, man.
And you know what? Bill just kept pushing. By the point he's standing over Mike Howard's shoulder in the hallway during trial, reading Mike Howard's questions, Bill had already knew he had him. I already got you to agree to the agreement. You did that. That agreement was not in writing. It's nothing to enforce. But here's the thing, Mike Howard. And let me make this small tangent on this point about the agreement. How far are you willing to take it, Mike Howard? How far are you willing to take it? Because as attorneys, through the rules of professional conduct, we have a duty to be truthful to each other. And if you're saying that he was untruthful to you, that is a grievance that you could file with the state bar. It should be on record, Mike Howard. How far are you willing to take it?
He ain't doing that shit. He ain't doing that
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. That's where that buddy shit backfired.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that buddy shit. To all my potential clients who think that you get a better deal by going to hire a white attorney, that's what you got to deal with. Agreements being made when you're not there. I'm going to say that again for the black community. For you thinking that you got a better shot by getting a Jewish attorney, a white attorney, they are making deals behind closed doors, behind your back, and you don't even know it. Like Rick Ross say, you don't even know it.
Come on,
and
bro.
Guess what? You think just because he got the skin color to match the majority of the skin color, he doing you something. What he doing? He's selling you up the river, just like Mike Howard did. So how far are you willing to take it, Mike Howard? That bar complaint is online. That you are accusing him of being unethical. File a grievance, Mike Howard.
And now I know he was unprepared too, because if he detrimentally relied on that agreement, which by the way we ain't even talked about this part, the prosecutor duped that nigga and said he didn't think that I almost said Trayvon, that he didn't think Karmelo's testimony was included in the deal. The
Right. Come on
prosecutor
now.
almost
He didn't
approached this
calculate
shit.
that he was gonna testify.
He
Come on.
approached this shit like, what the, I don't give a fuck about your calculations, nigga. You made the wrong
Come on now.
calculation.
It's my right. It's my
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
It don't matter what you calculate.
He approached it like he didn't have a constitutional right to testify.
Come on now. What are we doing?
Yeah. Mike Howard got duped, bro. He got duped. And that's how you gonna see how far he willing to take it. You're right, Mike. If he don't file no grievance on him, bro, this shit ain't worth nothing, bro. That shit
Because
ain't
the
worth
sad
it
part,
really still ain't worth nothing, honestly. This some after the fact.
the sad part about it is it appealable? I don't know if the
I don't
fact you
know.
got duped.
I don't know,
I
bro.
don't know that. I don't know
I
if
don't
the
know.
fact that he went against the agreement, gentleman agreement y'all had, is a appealable issue. I don't think that is.
What the fuck is a gentleman's agreement in court, bro? No,
It
my
wasn't in
nigga, you get
writing.
that shit in writing, you get it before the judge, and you get it on record, bro. Ain't no, like, what the fuck is this, bro? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and it goes back to not hiring a black attorney. Hire whoever gonna help you the most. But you went and thought you had you a good old boy, and you did. You had a good old boy that sold him right on up the road. Because look, if he was actually prepared and had his client ready to testify no matter what, it wouldn't have mattered if that gentleman's agreement went out the door. He'd have been ready. He'd have been ready.
The thing about that agreement, I heard the judge say this: I don't have no way to enforce that agreement. And even though nobody may like it, the judge may be right. Well, how does he enforce that agreement?
He could have put it on the record.
That's why it needs to be in writing. That's why it needs to be
on the record. Call the court reporter in. All the people got them nice ass offices in the back. Call them in. Say what the agreement is. Say that both sides agree, and be done with it.
Bro,
gentleman's agreement and a nigga life on the line. That's how you know, bro.
It's
gentleman's
two ways.
agreement.
It's two ways you could have locked it in. You lock it in a motion to limine, right? Agreed motion to limine. You lock it in at a stipulation of evidence. That's how you lock it in. But Mike, you just don't trust Bill because you have cocktails with him every other Friday at the golf course. You can't trust Bill. Bill knew that you were soft.
That motherfucker look shaky. He look untrustworthy, bro.
Look, Bill knew that Mike was soft and he sucked his teeth in. Why I'm showing you my questions for my client? I don't have a duty to do that.
Fam, I'm not even telling you if my client, we're not even discussing if my client testifying. I don't know yet. Fuck you talking about? We're not finna have a whole meeting in chambers, you know, so you can thwart what the fuck I'm trying to do. Like, come on, bro. And if you prepared, see, that's why I don't never feel like the state can stop what I got coming anyway. Cause I'll be prepared for everything. I got, you know, you draw a fork in the road. You get to a fork in the road. What you gonna do if this goes left? What you gonna do if this goes right? If you get to go straight, then just keep going straight. Okay, they object right here. What you gonna do? Okay, they come out with this evidence. What you gonna do? You gonna question this person about it, or you gonna tell them no further questions and not even let them go deep into it? What you gonna do to put that fire out? All you gotta do is put the fire out and keep it moving, man. And that, bro, he had to be like a deer in headlights, bro. And honestly, fam, I think with the missing piece to the puzzle, what was the evidence, bro?
Come on,
what was the evidence that you were scared of that was gonna come out where you thought it wasn't worth him telling his story under that tent? You thought it wasn't worth him explaining his statements to the police. You thought it wasn't worth him taking a stand at all. What the fuck was it, Mike Howard? What was it, bro?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I got a lot of moving parts over here. Like I said, we're on vacation, we're at the pool. But anyway, people, yeah, Mike Howard fell for the okie doke. Bill got over, and the judge assisted in that. I mean, it ain't the judge's duty to say, well, Bill, you told Mike you was gonna not do that, so you can't do that. No, Mike, as an attorney, you gotta object when it's time to object, and you gotta present your evidence and not be afraid of whatever the DA may have over there. And your fear costs Karmelo. So again, how far are you willing to take it? Or are you gonna file that grievance since he was unethical per your own signed affidavit submitted in his motion for new trial? You know, and it's another thing I want to say about this. Two things, Drew. Two more things. Number one, we was all screaming ineffective assistance of counsel, but I don't see that nowhere in the motion for new trial. So I have to sit there and think to myself, Why wouldn't they file ineffective assistance of counsel? But then I saw Mike Howard's affidavit. Okay, so maybe the
They
appeals
got him to
team
help.
thought it was more valuable for him to be on our side than to point the finger at him right now.
It
Let's see
was
how
because
far
they
he's
never
willing to
would
be
have
on
they
our
never would
side.
have knew about the agreement they never would have knew
They
about that
never
without
would
him.
have known.
So they made the right
And you know
decision on
what?
that.
It is very normal and very typical for a trial attorney to work with the appeals attorney in the appellate case. We've done that ourselves as trial attorneys on a couple of appeals. We work with the appellate attorneys all the way through the decisions. So that's a year, 2 years down the road. We still working with the appeals lawyer, assisting with the appeal. So maybe the appeals team thought that Mike Howard would be more valuable as an asset than as a foe. We can't do nothing but respect the experts
Right.
on that because they have the experience in doing these appeals, and I trust Russ and his team that they know what they're doing. But secondly, one of the other appeal issues that they raised was Karmelo's Sixth Amendment right to a public trial and how the judge denied access to the general public, the media, to cameras. And I like in the motion how they pointed out other high profile cases like Amber Geiger and other cases where the judge allowed it. The judge only opened the court for 10 minutes a day from 8:30 to 8:40 to the public, and then everything was shut down. It's 72 seats in the courtroom. He only gave 27 available seats. Nobody can access the records online. He has it sealed behind his desk in his chambers. Just the way that the judge handled to publicity, that may be a good appealable issue. Every person, every defendant has a right to a public trial. The reason you want the public to be there because you want to make sure these people are being fair. And the more that things are done sealed and behind closed door, the more likely that things are not being done fairly. What you think about that, y'all?
Well, let me address something before I go into that. Somebody put under our post, I think, like, oh, so you ain't never stipulated to nothing in 13 years? Let me tell y'all something, bro. You don't make a fucking agreement with a prosecutor. Let me tell you something first. 13 years. I've never not made an agreement with a prosecutor and it hurt me. That's never happened. The DA's never said, Mr. Wilkerson, will you agree to this? And I say, no, I'm not agreeing to nothing. You ask Mike, I tell him vehemently, like, nah, we're not doing that. That's never hurt my client's case, ever, across the board, ever. But understand, you stipulate to shit on your own terms. Like I told y'all, usually we are arguing self-defense. So stuff that I stipulate to is, oh, Judge, yeah, that was the weapon that was used. Oh, yeah, my client's fingerprints are on that weapon. Yeah, my client was there on the scene that day because we're claiming self-defense. We can't say he wasn't there. See, you stipulate to obvious shit. That's what you stipulate to. Either for the sake of timeliness or just or strategically. See, I do shit like, I tell the state I'm not finna stipulate to this being a weapon that was used. And then right before when they call the witness for their first question, I stand up and I stipulate. Because what that does is, tactically, that shows the jury, we're not scared of this evidence. And it shows the jury that the state is wasting your time. And it shows the jury that this don't prove shit. The fact that my client's fingerprints are on the gun don't prove that he premeditated, that this was premeditated and not self-defense. So I just want to tell people that you use the stipulation shit, strategically to benefit your client, not before the trial even start. I ain't heard of that shit before, man. I haven't heard of that shit before. That's almost like the gym. Well, like I took my kids to this place the other day for my nephew's birthday. And you come in there, they have you sign a waiver, right? So basically, you agreeing not to sue these people no matter what happened in this home. Now, first of all, them waivers, people don't even know, them waivers don't stand for shit. They don't stop nobody from being sued. They just make you think you can't sue them. But you could sign a waiver and sue somebody right after that if they shit defective. But that's what I'm saying. It's almost like agreeing to, you don't know what's going to happen in trial. You don't know what's going to come out. And it's always, Mike, you know this to be true. It's always a ram in the bush. It's one that we find before trial, and it's one that we discover in trial. Always. Always. You see what I'm saying? But as far as the opening stuff to the public, bro, that's just the most sneaky shit they did, bro. Like transparency is it just like the truth? You never get half the truth and it's still the truth. You can't have half the truth and call it the truth. You can't be half transparent and call yourself transparent. You can't. Either you are or you ain't. You got some that will and some that won't. Some like Pepsi, some like Coke. You're saying late grade UGK. You understand what I'm saying? It is or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hiding shit and call yourself transparent. So, it was just a lack of transparency with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think another thing was with that argument, Russ said that I think that the judge is required to do something else, like have an overflow room or something, or do something in place of not having a courtroom open. Give the public some avenue of access.
Right.
And he didn't do that, like you said so eloquently. I mean, the first day he shut down the overflow room. The first day. So, I sure hope, that they can get this done, man. But like, I don't feel no better about the defense attorney's job than I did before I knew this shit, bro. I knew
About
something
Mike
was funny.
Salvatown.
I knew
Okay.
something was funny about it. I knew something scared the bejesus out his ass where he didn't even want to call his client. I knew, like, yeah, bro, it's a tough deal, man, and it needs to be looked into in depth. But I do understand the strategy of getting him to help out so you can get all the facts. Because the judge wasn't going to divulge none of that. You see what I'm saying? That they would have went to the grave with that gentleman's agreement.
Right.
Right.
For what I understand, the record's still not available. I think the judge, let's just call it what it is. He thanking everybody after the play was executed. Come on now. He ran the play the exact way he wanted to run it. He didn't want us people looking to see what was going on and calling foul. Come on now. If it's supposed to be a spectator sport, why can't the public come watch the game, Judge? You just the referee. Why is you closing the arena down? We just coming to watch. We fans. Of course we gonna boo when there's a bad call made. Of course we gonna complain and boo. That's how life works. So the only way you will be shutting the court down, not giving access to the public, is because you didn't have no intentions of running a fair game in the first place.
Exactly.
So I think that I'm gonna call it what it is. That's why you thanking everybody, because your staff in Collin County helped you execute the secretness of this trial. It's like the Salem witch hunts. What you scared for, Judge? Open the doors. If everything is fair, open the doors. And the whole thing about that Saturday thing, it just shows you. Whew. And you
Come
want
on,
to
bro.
recuse yourself, Judge Roach?
And then
You want to recuse yourself. Let another
stop
judge
letting these
take it.
judges preside over cases when they finna retire right after, bro. They be showing they ass. They be showing
Come
they
on now.
ass.
We learned that the hard way.
Like, why
We
would you
learned
give the
that the hard
highest
way.
profile case in 2026 in Texas to a motherfucker that's packing his shit up?
He don't care. He
And,
can
and,
do
and,
whatever
and
he
let me
want to
tell
do. He
you,
out the door.
I call a spade, bro. That judge not a nice person, bro. I've seen him in action. He done got on to me about my pants before when they suit pants. I'm like, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? He didn't, he just he one of them people that gotta talk the loudest in the room. You know what I'm saying? And he seems overly emotional. Like he make emotional decisions all the time based on how you feel. I ain't never gravitated towards him or liked him much at all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to like a judge to be in a courtroom. That's my thing. But, he just, I don't put none of this shit past him is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't put none of this shit past him.
We'll get some news here soon with the motions for recusal. We should know something on the motion recused very soon. Maybe this coming week. The motion for new trial after that recusal is heard. That motion for new trial hearing has to happen in 75 days of the verdict, which was June 9th. So y'all do the math on that. We're going to get that hearing pretty soon. So we're going to see how this all plays out. But,
When is he supposed to retire, bro?
I heard December. I don't know how true it is, so I heard he's out by the beginning of January. I also
But it
heard some other
seems
stuff about him.
we'll talk offline and verify it off
No,
first. But
he has been complaining. He does have a a public reprimand before, so he's not
Yeah, I know.
perfect.
I bet he
You know,
do.
why he sit on?
No.
Go look
That
at
motherfucker be
my
tripping, bro.
disciplinary record. Go look
Yeah.
at my disciplinary record. You won't see a public reprimand on mine.
Won't see
You won't
shit.
see a
Won't see
private
shit.
one. You know
But
what I'm saying?
anytime you mention
Because
us, they gonna act like we the bad boys. You know what I'm saying?
well, come
We
on
ain't got
now.
none of that shit.
Ethics matter. Ethics
Well, I
matter.
guess the
You
point
know
I
what I'm
guess the point
saying?
I was making is it could be kind of good because it seems that no matter what, if Karmelo did get a new trial, he wouldn't be the judge over it. That's what it sounds
Well,
like. Cause it ain't going before December.
but this is what I hate about it. If he don't get recused, right? He's the one that has to decide the motion for new trial. Well, we already
Yeah,
know what he
yeah,
think. He thought
yeah,
the
for
trial
sure.
went perfect. There's no way
Yeah, for sure.
there's no way Karmelo gets the motion for new trial if judge is not recused. So what can we do as a public? And a lot of people inbox, hey, Mr. Campbell, Attorney Campbell, what can we do to help? I say we do two things. I say we do two things. We gotta start doing what they'll do to us. We gotta complain. You gotta file a judicial complaint against the judicial code of what is it? The judicial board of judicial conduct. The board of judicial conduct. Just Google it. Texas Board of Judicial Conduct. The judge not holding a public fair trial. That's something you can file a judicial complaint about. The prosecutor. The state bar of Texas has a way you can complain against attorneys. The prosecutors being unethical. Per Mike Howard. First, Mike Howard should be the first one. Him and Toby should be the first ones to file that. But the general public, y'all can file that complaint.
They're not gonna file it, bro. They're not gonna file it.
File it on their behalf. Because Mike Howard in the side affidavit said that Bill Wirskye was unethical. So that's what you do when unethical.
All they gotta do is
it.
attest that affidavit. That's all they gotta do.
That's it. The bar to be reaching out to Mike Howard to ask what he's talking about.
He really ain't gonna have to fill out too much. Yeah, all the shit is in the affidavit. So you know,
we just gotta stay prayed up for Karmelo. We wanted to tap in and kind of touch bases. We know we kind of it's all over the place, but it's a lot of moving parts. But we thank y'all for continuously liking and supporting the Not Guilty Boyz. We actually got a trial coming up ourselves here in the fall that has similar circumstances, a white deceased and a black defendant, self-defense in Tarrant County. So we invite you all.
We're gonna
We
win.
invite you all to come out. We invite the
because I know
public
y'all
to
watch.
come. Yeah, y'all can come watch in person. Bring us some coffee. Caramel macchiato, tall, skinny caramel macchiato, tall for Starbucks.
Prayers for the Wells family, man. Also, we're gonna cover that as well. Prayers for the Wells family, man. I mean, but y'all gotta understand the world we live in is revealing itself. And it's been that way the whole time. But the world we live in is truly revealing itself. You know what I'm saying?
They stay playing in our face. Black 18-year-old kid, black kid disappeared with all white. They got his phone.
And
they
ain't
don't want to talk to
nobody
his
been
family no
charged.
more.
Nobody been
They was
charged.
friends. The cops don't see no signs of a crime. Come on, man. They playing in our face. Prayers for the
It's
Wells
Mississippi
family. I
too.
hope they get.
So it's Mississippi. So they gon'
We pray they get to the bottom and get some real answers for what happened to their son. But we gonna get y'all another show here soon. We check it out. Y'all just continue to stay tuned for what the Not Guilty Boyz got coming up. Why do y'all see when we get home?
100. When you get home?
I'll be there tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bet.
All right, bet.
It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We can throw good, do you?
Murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.